Back to the deep dive. Today, we're not just looking at a game. We are gearing up for a championship match that feels like it's going to define a generation of football in the region.
It really does.
You've got tactics, huge psychological hurdles, and just, that raw fighting spirit all clashing at once. This is for all the bragging rights.
So our mission for you today is pretty clear. We are going to break down the FIFA Arab Cup Qatar 2025 final. It's Jordan versus Morocco, and we're going to distill the history, the current form of both teams, and the tactical side of it, which is just fascinating.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Let's get the foundational details out of the way first.
Let's do it.
The match is set for Thursday, December 18th, 2025. And the stage, well, it's the iconic Lusail Stadium in Doha, Qatar.
And that stadium, the atmosphere there is basically a character in the story itself.
It really is.
Yeah, and the stakes just couldn't be higher. I know Morocco won back in 2012, but this is, the modern, formalized version of the tournament.
Right, a whole different beast.
Exactly. So both teams are just desperate to win their first title under this new, much higher profile format. And that just ramps up the pressure.
Oh, absolutely. When both sides are chasing that historic feat status,
yeah,
the intensity is just going to be off the charts. So let's talk about how they got here.
Yeah.
Because momentum is everything in a final. How did Jordan and Morocco actually book their spots?
Well, Jordy's journey has been, frankly, pretty incredible. It's been defined by this sheer grit. They sealed their spot with what all our sources are calling a resounding victory over a really tough Iraq side.
And that wasn't just a simple win. Right?
No, not at all. It was a statement about their resilience, their ability to execute when everything is on the line. They must be feeling, on top of the world after that.
Riding a massive wave of confidence into the final. And what about Morocco, the Atlas Lions?
They were just as convincing, maybe a little less dramatic, but incredibly effective. They secured their spot with a very strong, very technical win against the UAE. So, both teams are absolutely here on merit.
Okay, so they're both coming in hot. But as soon as you look past those recent results, you hit this, gigantic historical wall that Jordan is facing.
And this is where it gets really, really interesting.
Yeah, not just history, it's a very painful, very recent memory.
Exactly. The two sides haven't met that many times over the years, but their last match is the elephant in the stadium. It was in the group stage of this very tournament.
And Morocco won 4-0.
A decisive, just an overwhelming 4-0 victory. That wasn't a squeaker decided by a late goal. It was a tactical dissection.
A 4-0 thrashing. That scoreline, that's not just about 3 points in the group stage. It creates this huge psychological shadow over the final.
It does.
How does Jordan's coach, Amuda, even begin to address that? His players know deep down that Morocco has a blueprint that already took them apart.
And that's the core psychological battle right there.
Yeah.
That 4-0 loss completely defines Jordan's game plan for the final. They cannot go into this trying to outpossess or outskill Morocco.
Because we've already seen how that ends.
We have. Morocco just exploited their high defensive line. Amuta has to convince his squad that this final is about structural sacrifice. They have to prevent that kind of technical breakdown from ever happening.
So it's a total shift in focus. It's not about matching them. It's about disrupting them.
Precisely.
Which brings us to the identities of these two teams. Jordan, Al-Nashama, the spirited side, against Morocco, the Atlas Lions, all about power and technical skill.
Let's start with Al-Nashama. Their whole identity is built on this high fighting spirit, this incredible desire to do something historic. But passion alone doesn't get you to a final.
Right. There has to be more.
The crucial ingredient is their coach, the Moroccan, Amuta. He's added what our sources are calling tactical solidity.
So what does that actually mean? What is tactical solidity in Jordan's case? Is he just parking the bus?
Well, it's more sophisticated than that. It's really two things. First, a highly disciplined low-to-mid block on defense. They sit deeper. They make it incredibly hard for teams like Morocco to find those passing lanes through the middle.
Okay, so they're compact.
Very. And second, their transition from defense to attack is structured. It's not just a hopeful long ball forward. It's planned.
So it's passion, but it's harnessed by this disciplined defensive system.
Exactly. And that structure has allowed key players to really shine. We have to talk about Nizar Al-Rashdan and Mahmoud Mardi.
Okay.
Al-Rashdan is the engine in midfield. He has the discipline to hold that defensive shape, but also the vision to launch those quick counters. And Mardi gives them the pace and width they need to, actually exploit the space they create.
They're the release valves for that defensive pressure.
Perfect way to put it.
Okay, now let's pivot to the Atlas Lions.
Yeah.
Their strength seems more foundational, like it comes from superior technical ability across the board.
That's spot on. Morocco relies on the inherent quality and the cohesion of its players. And when we say cohesion, we mean their movement off the ball is synchronized. They use these quick, one-touch passing sequences to just bypass defenses.
Possession-based dominance.
Yes. They thrive on that. They break down stubborn defenses through just sustained, relentless pressure. Their semifinal was a masterclass in that.
So, if Jordan is structurally sound, Morocco is technically fluid. But the really wild card here, the thing that adds so much spice to this final, is the coaching situation.
This is the best part. This whole final is a clash between two coaches who come from the same Moroccan football philosophy.
Right. Amouta, a Moroccan, is coaching Jordan against his home nation.
It's not just a standard matchup. It adds this incredible layer of familiarity, of insight, and, probably a bit of professional rivalry, too.
Wait, but if both coaches are from the same school of thought, doesn't that just cancel everything out? Doesn't it just come down to which team has the better players?
That's a great question, but I think it works the other way. Amouta knows the patterns, the tempo, the technical habits of Moroccan players because he helped establish them.
So he knows the playbook.
He knows the philosophy, inside and out. He's not just defending against a team, he's defending against an idea that he understands intimately. And that gives Jordan a roadmap for disruption.
And on the flip side, Morocco knows what Amouta is going to try to do.
Exactly. The Moroccan staff knows the kind of discipline he instills, so they have to find creative ways to bypass what is essentially a mirror image of their own defensive principles. It's a chess match.
A tactical knowledge war. It's no wonder the analysts and fans are so divided on this one.
Oh, fiercely divided, and for good reason. The people favoring Morocco, they lean on the hard evidence, right? The 4-0 win, the history, the technical depth on their bench.
Their argument is that talent will eventually win out over 90 minutes.
Right. They think that technical superiority will always eventually find the cracks in a defensive wall.
But that's only half the story. You can't measure hard on a stat sheet. That's the argument for Jordan.
That's the argument for Jordan. Others are all in on the Al-Nashama narrative. They point to that fighting spirit, the resilience, the fan support they'll have in Lusail. They believe that determination, supercharged by Amouta's strategy, is the great equalizer.
They see an upset brewing.
They do. They see a world where structure and spirit can overcome pure finesse.
So if we strip it all down, what's the core conflict we're going to see on that pitch?
The core conflict is sustained, high-quality technical pressure versus psychological strength and defensive organization. We have to acknowledge Morocco's technical superiority, but the unwavering passion of the Jordanian players, led by a coach who knows his opponent's playbook better than anyone, that could genuinely level the playing field. The emotional drive here is a real, measurable factor.
And what's so fascinating is, despite all the data, despite the 4-0, the final result feels completely wide open.
It is, and that's what makes football so incredible. We're watching to see what wins on the day, technique or tactical grit.
For those of you who want to see how this incredible clash plays out, let's get you the details. The match is on Thursday, December 18, 2025.
And there are tons of options to watch. It's on the big subscription channels like beIN Sports and Alcast TV. But crucially, it's also on a bunch of free-to-air channels.
Which is great for access.
It is. Look for Kuwait Sports, Oman Sports, Abu Dhabi Sports, and Dubai Sports.
And make sure you get the time right. This is key.
Absolutely. Kickoff is at 7:00 p.m. Saudi Arabia and Jordan time. For everyone else, that's 4:00 p.m. GMT and 5:00 p.m. in Morocco.
A perfect time slot. So to wrap this all up then.
To summarize, you have Morocco, the technical powerhouse, still feeling good about that 4-0 win, facing Jordan, a team driven by this incredible national spirit and a tactical plan designed by a man who knows the Moroccan system from the inside out.
So what does this all mean? It means when that whistle blows, all the pre-match analysis, all the history, it just kind of flies out the window.
It does.
We're watching to see if passion, when it's married to the perfect counter strategy, can actually conquer technical superiority. I think we're in for a really tight, really disciplined match.
It raises a really important question for you to think about. Given that passion is cited as a key factor that could level this playing field, what role does a coach's background really play when he's trying to outmaneuver a footballing philosophy he helped establish? It's a battle of ideas where the emotional energy of the players is the ultimate wild card.
Something to mull over. We'll be right there with you watching every second. That's all the time we have for this deep dive.